evening and welcome to another healing journey. We're on the learning journey together. We welcome you on this stormy Monday afternoon, Monday evening per se. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to be here on
Yes, it
this
is.
stormy, windy, rainy Monday afternoon. But we're
Yes, it
here.
is. It is. We welcome you to the learning journey. We are part of our lessons learned. It is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, meaning that we work off of not of we work off of grants and your donations in order to help other loved ones and caregivers of those incarcerated or recently arrested.
Yes.
We are here to inform, support, educate, and advocate for you on this journey. This journey is like none other. Lee and I were chosen to do this. We did not request this journey. It was given to us, and we thank God for it because we've learned so much on this journey and we're able to sit here and help and give back to you. So we thank God for this journey. We do have a lot of special things coming up. We do have our next event, which is going to be our back to school um, basic fair. It's going to be books and mental health. We're going to have our brown sugar clinicians with us, and we're going to, so many people are suffering in this time and in this season. So they're trying to get through this school year. So imagine what it's going to be like when next school year comes. So we thought we'd have a back to school event and help the parents that are struggling. There are a lot of schools closing and a lot of things going on. So in order for that to happen, we need sponsors. We need school notebooks, papers, pencils, and things of that nature. If you would like to donate and help the loved ones and caregivers of those incorporated, you can go to our website. We're at ourlessonslearned.org, and you will see a QR code and you can donate. We're also going to put the flyer on our Facebook page. And guess what? You can press the QR code there and you can donate that way. Your funds will be going to help those that need the help in this season. Also, our brown sugar clinicians are going to be out there, and also Hungry Lives Matter is going to be out there. Hungry Lives Matter is not just food. What do you hunger for in your life? Well, if you come out to that event at the Callahan Center on July 18th, you'll find out, and you will be truly fed when you leave that event. Lee, would you like to comment on that?
The thing that we have that we're using this year with the back to school, I really like it. It's backpack to balance. And
Yes.
it's so important because in order for the children to be able to learn, they have to be balanced, well rounded and stuff. And there are so many different things and going to be there on that day that will be able to give them some balance so that these children will be ready and eager to learn when they get back to school. So wonderful, wonderful. Come out and join us.
Come out and join us. We're also going to have yoga out there, a yoga instructor, and that's good for the parents. It's also good for the kids. Kids are faced with anxieties. Look what's happening in society today. So,
Yeah,
come out and join us on that event, but donate if you can. Remember, it takes a community to raise a child.
it
So we're
does.
asking for the community to help our community organization in doing this. Also, we want to talk this evening about the three battles going on. You can't escape it, you can't evade it. There are three battles happening at the same time right now:
That's
the
right.
war in society, the conflict inside the prison walls, and the emotional spiritual battles inside the incarcerated person. That's a powerful thing that's happening, three at one time.
It
Let's
is.
look at the war outside. You turn on the news, you don't even have to turn on the news. You go online, breaking news, this and that. The world outside often reflects a struggle, violence, inequality, broken systems, and communities under stress. Well, when society is in turmoil, prisons feel the ripple effects.
Yes, they do.
Many incarcerated individuals come from environments where survival, trauma, and instability were already present before incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
The battle inside the prison walls. There's a battle in there. If you don't know, there is a battle inside. Inside a prison, there can be another kind of war. You got power struggles going on among inmates. You
Yes, you
got
do.
institutional control and strict rules,
Mm-hmm.
survival dynamics, trust, safety, reputation, emotional isolation from family and community. For
Yeah.
many incarcerated people, every day can feel like navigating a battlefield mentally and socially. Lee, would you like to talk about the war inside the inmate's heart and mind?
Well, sure, Lynn. I just want to also put in there that
Sure.
um, we represent a diverse group of caregivers and loved ones. And it's because of the diversity, some of the issues we talk about may feel distant to
Yes.
some, and
Yes.
some it's deeply personal to others. So the bottom line is that these issues are real and they
Mhm.
everyday impact our justice impacted community. Um, it's every day we're trying to make sure that you or your loved one don't end up in the battles on the inside of the arrested and incarcerated when we talk about the battles on the outside. The battles on the inside with the caregiver, I want to just kind of push the caregiver a little bit, Lynn.
Sure.
Put you right smack dab in the middle of the war on the outside and right in the middle of it on the inside. So we're as caregivers are sitting right there. But as caregivers, we must remain strong and just simply don't give up that fight. We got to keep the focus because, as you said, Lynn, we didn't sign up for this fight.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
one sunny evening, as for me, my name popped up as a caregiver of a son that was involved in an altercation, later arrested, and eventually incarcerated. Yet I'm thankful because it could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yes.
I found myself seeking support as a caregiver. I found myself um, preparing for my son to come back into this world once he had gone through the system, so to speak. I had to stay connected. I had to talk about or think about self care as far as myself was concerned as a caregiver. I had to set some boundaries and all of these things, not necessarily in the order that I'm speaking them in. I had to do these things. I had to empower myself. I had to learn about a whole lot of different stuff that I didn't know about and never thought that I would ever have to know about it. But I found myself in a place where I needed to learn a whole lot. But as caregivers, we have to try to understand our loved ones and their range of emotions because they're going through anger, they go through shame, the loneliness, and uh, also trying to keep a focus of forgiveness. They
Mhm.
try to forgive themselves, forgiving society, forgiving everybody and everything because they don't understand or realize how they got there in the first place. But whether it's their fault or whether it isn't their fault, we have to understand that no one is perfect. Some of us just didn't get caught. So we have to extend a little bit of grace. Try to extend a little bit of grace. But for a little bit, just for a little bit, it could have been me or it could have been you and not your loved one fighting that battle from or on the inside. As caregivers of the recently incarcerated or arrested, we are all in the war and we're all in this battle together. And we walk along those lines with you as caregivers, supporting your loved one of the arrested and incarcerated.
Yes. It's something, the war inside the inmate's heart and mind, the caregivers, as Lee said, the loved ones, they're also, there's a war inside of them. But think about the war
Mhm.
inside the heart
Of
and
the
mind
inmate.
of the justice impacted person. The deepest battle, all the deepest battle is often internal. There's guilt and shame about past
Mhm.
actions, anger and resentment toward the system or others. How about the loneliness and grief from separation from the family? Hope versus hopelessness about the future. Then you have the struggle to redefine identity beyond the crime. And, redefining that identity is often hard. The internal conflict can also become a place of transformation. Some individuals begin confronting their trauma, learning emotional regulation, discovering faith, or finding purpose. And, there's a powerful way to frame it. You could describe it like there's a war outside in the streets, a battle inside the prison walls, and even greater fight within the hearts of the justice impacted person.
Yes.
While society focuses on punishment, many justice impacted people are fighting unseen wars against their past, their pain, and the person they are trying to become. Really, if you look at it, people who are incarcerated often fight those internal battles, not just the external challenges of prison life. Many have those struggles of the psychological, emotion, and spiritual. Understanding these can help families, it can help counselors and advocates and support them better. There are some of the things, the most common inner battles, the shame and guilt. They wrestle with deep guilt about the harm they cause or the pain that has been brought to their families. This can lead to self hatred, feeling unworthy of forgiveness, and difficulty imagining a better future. At the same time, some struggle with accepting responsibility and defending themselves emotionally so they can survive mentally. Then there's the identity crisis.
Yeah.
They're assigned a number in an orange jumpsuit. Okay? So they are then known as that number and then known as whatever state they're in, Department of Corrections. That's hard for them. That is embedded in them from day in to day out when they do their counts and things of that nature. You know, it's so hard for them. A lot of people ask themselves, who am I now? Am
Hmm.
I only my crime? Being labeled an inmate can slowly replace their identity as a parent, a sibling, a partner, or a community member. So we try to get away from labeling them as an inmate, and we like to say they're justice impacted. Loneliness and discrimination and disconnection. Should I say loneliness and disconnection? Even in crowded facilities, many experience intense loneliness. They may feel forgotten by their family, emotionally cut off from loved
Hmm.
ones, and afraid to trust others. First of all, there are some families that disown their loved one. Once their loved ones go into prison, they disown them.
Yes, they do.
That's when they need your support more than ever.
Hmm.
Yes, it's hard. It's
Hmm.
hard. You never thought you'd be there, but guess what? You are. So you have to roll with it and support them because they need you more now than ever. This is a time for them to hopefully maybe turn their life around. So there's the trauma and unresolved pain that they go through. Many justice impacted individuals already carry trauma from childhood, poverty, abuse, or violence. Inside that unresolved trauma can surface. It can surface as anger, depression. They may become emotional numb and also hypervigilant. A large number of justice impacted people struggle with conditions like post traumatic stress disorder, which is
Yes.
PTSD,
Hmm.
depression, and substance use disorder. Lee, would you like to talk about the fear and survival mode?
There's such a fear because, as you said, Lynn, once they go on the inside, this is for lack of a better way of wording it or so, you become state property.
Mm-hmm.
You become a number. Like you say, your family forget about you, so to speak, or stuff, or they kind of disown you a little bit. So
Yes.
you're struggling and you're fighting with so many different things in there. So, but it's so important, I feel, that we should, as we go through this journey with our loved ones that are on the inside or so, that are justice impacted or system involved and stuff, we have to keep in mind and keep the focus and let them know that they are more than the charge that they
Yes.
carry. And we
Yes.
have to encourage them to keep the faith. And it's not always an easy thing to do and stuff because, as a caregiver, not only are you trying to keep that person um, level-headed, so to speak, or encouraged, but you also have to encourage yourself. So we have to extend to them a little more grace, and we have to give ourselves a little more grace as well when we're going through this journey that we're on or so.
Right. And there's a fear of survival mode. The environment, the prison environment can keep people hypervigilant, constant
Hmm.
alertness.
Hmm.
Internally, they may battle with fear of violence,
Yeah,
fear of vulnerability,
every day.
pressure to appear tough. There's fear of the
Hmm.
unknown. As
Hmm.
they're sentenced, they don't know what that life is like. You see one thing on TV, but honey, you're not on TV now. You living this in real life, real
That's
time.
right. That's right.
And many suppress emotions just to survive, just to survive. And a lot of times your loved ones are trying to save you. So they're not going to tell you what the real deal is.
Hmm.
So it's really, really hard for them. And it's hard for you because you keep asking, well, how are you? I'm good. They
I'm
can't
fine.
tell you. So, just keep them lifted in prayer. And then there's hopelessness about the future. Long sentences are barriers after release can create thoughts like, what's the point? No one's going to give me a chance. Our system is set up where after they get out, some of them are still paying and they've already done their time, but they're still paying for that crime. So,
Hmm.
this is where social justice and change needs to come in. This is where you advocate for change in the system. So, knowing that, their voting rights should be returned to them and things of that nature. Give them a chance, give them a job, let them
Employment,
get housing.
housing.
These are the things that will turn their lives around as well. When they come out, if there's no housing, if they can't find a job, yes, the charges on them prevent them from getting these things. So, this is where the system needs to change. And social justice and advocacy is very, very important.
Mhm. We have to
The
stop
loss
jumping.
of hope can lead to depression or giving up on their personal growth. So make sure you do that. And then missing family and parenting guilt. One of the most painful struggles is being separated from children or loved ones. The justice impacted often carry regret for missing the milestones. My son missed his grandfather's funeral, and grief behind bars is
Hmm.
a whole different animal for them to deal with. But, they regret missing children's birthdays, mother and father, weddings, graduations, all of those things. I know for me it was hard because I had to support his friends. And it was hard for me to keep that smile on my face with that pain and turmoil inside. My son's behind bars, but his friends are progressing. I was happy for them. I was
Hmm.
so happy for them. But it's
It
really
hurts.
hard. And you can imagine if it hurt me, it definitely
Hmm.
hurts him and your loved ones. Fear their children will resent them. They really miss their children, but they fear that their children will resent them and not understand certain things about the system and about things that they have to go through. And then they worry about losing relationships permanently. That is something when they have that fear of losing those relationships permanently. Lee, would you like to talk about desire for change versus the old patterns?
Well, certainly there is a desire to change, and hopefully, once the system is set up to rehabilitate or redo, so to speak. So
It's supposed to be set up that way.
it's supposed to be. So certainly, once you're incarcerated, again, whether you're there because of something that you actually did or something that you just get caught up in the system or so, you get that chance to, or so to speak, redo or rehabilitate. So there is a desire as they go along, I believe, to
Hmm.
do something different. Because as you stated, there are so many things that they go through, so many emotions, so many feelings that they have to fight through and stuff. And just as we uh, outside every day, you don't know when you wake up, you don't know what you're facing
That's
until
right.
you flip that TV on or hear from someone. Every day to them is a day that they don't know what they're going to wake up to or what they'll have to fight through to get from the beginning of that day to the end of that day. So it's it's really, really something. Certainly not something that anyone would want to go through. And if you speak with anyone that has gone through some of this, they will let you know that it's not anything they ever want to encounter again, going through it at one time. And yet, because of the way the system and the world is set up, they do end up sometimes going through that again. So we have to try to work with them as best we can and not judge. That's another thing that we do. We end up judging, and
Amen.
we got to stop judging because again, but for a little bit, or as we say, for the grace of God, it could be me on the inside, it could be you as well as it was them. So and then we would have to deal with those feelings from the inside as opposed to on the outside, encouraging them to make it through this journey. So
Yeah.
there is a battle, there is war on the outside with the world situation that we're going through now. There's war on the inside when we bring it home to our incarcerated or our arrested and stuff that we deal with and stuff. There's war all around, and most of this can apply to so many different situations, and certainly it applies to our loved ones and to ourselves because we're all on the journey together.
That's right. And many justice impacted want to change, but internally wrestle with old habits. You grew up in the neighborhood and you got some old habits. How about peer pressure inside? There's
Mm,
peer pressure inside the prison to join this gang or to do this or to do that. Yes, they do have gang activity. There's doubts about whether change is possible. They're sitting there, well, I don't know if I can change what I need to change for. There's a lot. It can become a daily battle between who
mhm.
they were and who they want to become. Some of our former speakers told us about the gang activity on the inside. And that's something, think about that peer pressure. Think about that. Not only that, there are different religious groups on the inside, so they might have peer pressure to join this group and, denounce this and it's so much that goes on. So sometimes the internal battle is often harder than the physical environment. When someone begins working through guilt, trauma, and identity, that's often when the real transformation takes place. And I see that in my counseling when I'm counseling. And once you are working through the guilt and the trauma and identity, the real transformation takes place. It is something, and tonight we want to challenge you to do something. If you have a loved one that is justice impacted, we want you to tell us 10 emotional struggles that the caregivers or the loved ones face. Not that not that the justice impacted loved one is facing, but you as a caregiver loved one. What are 10 emotional struggles you face?
Mm,
We want to know. You can post it anonymously. It's a lot. The holidays are a struggle. That's an emotional struggle. The birth of a child, grief, financially, missing that relationship. There's so many emotional struggles. So we want to hear from you. What are 10 emotions? If you can't think of 10, think of five. We want to hear from you.
mhm.
The struggle is real. It's real. We're not on here sugarcoating. We're in it. We know what it's like. We might not get everything right. We're not on here trying to be perfect. We're on here trying to help you and support you and educate you and inform you and advocate for you. Someone did it for us, and we're going to do it for you. So let us know. How can we help you? What can we do better?
Yep.
The struggle is real. Remember, you got three wars going on: the war in the country, the war inside the prison walls, and the war that is internal inside the justice impacted person. So, guess what? Let's put four: the war inside of the caregiver. Four battles going on right now. But you know what? My Bible says that we are soldiers in the army. We're soldiers, so we can't give up. We can't lay our weapon down. That's our Bible. We've got to keep praying daily until they come out on this side. We've got to hold up the bloodstained banner. We've got to hold it up until we die. We've got to keep them lifted up with
Mhm.
everything you have in you. So tonight, we ask God to give you the strength you need, to give you the resources you need, and to keep you strong and on the battlefield. Lee,
You got to put your armor on. Put
full
your armor
armor.
on for this struggle, for this fight. We got to do that. And I'm so glad, Lynn, that you asked that the question or and challenged our listeners to say, how
Mhm.
can we help you? We want to know how we can help you, and we can only do that if you let us know what's going on with you or what we can do to support you or help you and whatever way we can. It's not easy. We stepped into this when we did and stuff, and I didn't have a
We did.
clue where to go, what to do, or how to do it. But we want to hear from you. We want your we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your suggestions. And let me also say that we want you to also like when you're going on to Facebook and to YouTube, like our channel,
Yes.
subscribe so that the reminders will come to you and let you know when we're coming back on. But we want to hear from you because we are all on this journey together. The
Yes.
battle, the wars on the outside, the battles on the inside, and they are many.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
can make it through it. We just got to keep our armor on, stay prayed up, and let's go through this battle.
That's right.
To
And
God
remember,
be glory.
a lot of the battles aren't ours, it's the Lord's.
Mm-hmm.
When we release, leave it there, and He will come in His own time.
Yes, He will.
So until we see you again, we want to hear from you. People call us all the time. We need your help. We need this and that. We want to hear from you. Help us help you. Help
Mm-hmm.
us help you. We know many are struggling. And you know what? Help us help you. So until we see you again, peace be still. Be safe. And Lee, we'll see them in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
night.
you.